Sup? Let's talk about RuPaul's movies. RuPaul, fashion icon, music mogul, the most famous drag queen in the world.
A drag queen? A drag queen? I am the queen of drag.
Before RuPaul made a television empire with the RuPaul's Drag Race franchise, he took on a lot of different projects that tried to become America's next drag superstar herself. This included a range of TV performances, a smattering of dance pop albums, and what I'm most interested in, appearances in various shitty movies. I've always been a bit of a movie nerd, so I wanted to figure out what movies RuPaul got famous for before RuPaul's Drag Race started, so I figured, hey, why don't I take the time and review all 26 of RuPaul's films and see if there's any gems in there and see if there's anything we can learn. I mean, how bad could it be?
Hello, Persephone? Special Agent Persephone, Homeland Security. This is the main outfit. Are you ready? Just let the music dance into your soul.
Before we get started, I wanted to lay down some ground rules of how these movies will be reviewed and how RuPaul's appearances in them will be discussed. So, number one, no documentaries. That means we're not going to be talking about Wigstock or the Tammy Faye documentary that RuPaul narrates or the Trixie Mattel documentary. I'm pretty sure RuPaul is in that, but I didn't check. Two, no television specials, so whatever The Bitch Who Stole Christmas is, I hate to tell you, but I'm not reviewing it in this video. Maybe something else one day, but right now, no. TV movies are okay though, like if they aired originally on Lifetime or whatever, that's fine. And three, no short films. The films in question have to meet the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, otherwise known as the Oscars, definition of a feature film, which does mean they have to be at least 40 minutes long. There is one exception we're going to cover, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Each of these movies will be reviewed in two ways. First is just a simple 10 out of 10 score on how good the movie is overall. The other score will be a special score, a score denoting what I thought of RuPaul's appearance in the film overall. This rating will also be accompanied by a clip from RuPaul's Drag Race, which I find most relevant. And I think that covers all the rules, but one last thing I wanted to mention is that this review will be divided up into sections, mostly because RuPaul has a lot of movies and I had to sort them together somehow. The way I decided on the sections is I basically just put them wherever I felt like. It's a long process. So without further ado, let's get started. The first section of this review will cover drag movies. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, Blaze Amaze, aren't all of RuPaul's movies drag movies? To which I would say, no, they're not. It's kind of annoying, actually. Although, I'll admit, all of RuPaul's movies are a drag to sit through, so in their own technical way, yeah, they're kind of drag movies. What I mean is that this section will be covering drag as an art form and particular drag performers. We start off with arguably RuPaul's most well-known film role to date, and let me just make sure I get this title right real quick. To Wong Fu, thanks for everything, ! Julie Newmar, which, despite its kind of dogshit title, was actually pretty good. This movie stars Trinity the Tuck, Bob the Drag Queen, and Yara Sofia as three New York City-based drag queens whose road trip to LA for a pageant goes horribly awry when their car breaks down and they wind up in a town full of homophobes, wherein they have to use the power of drag to help teach the town love, acceptance, and tolerance, all while helping Stockard Channing get out of a bad marriage, avoiding the antics of this big fat bumbling cop guy who's chasing them around, and get to their LA pageant eventually by the end.
Oh, remember Stockard Channing, by the way. She's gonna come up later.
It's kind of like the movie Cars, if it was gay. I'm not gonna spend all day on this one because, to be honest, this movie's just really good and I don't feel like making jokes about it. You should probably just watch it. But there's a lot of things to praise about it. I mean, there's a temptation when you make a movie like this to just make it a lot of I'm a guy in a dress and I'm gay jokes. But this movie actually goes out of its way to kind of avoid stereotyping gay people too hard. I said too hard.
Hey, yo, what the?
I mean, you know, it's not the most original script in the world. It is gay Cars, basically, but it's got a lot of heart and it's really, really funny.
That little Latin boy in drag is crying. Find out why that little Latin boy in drag is crying.
Little Latin boy in drag. Why are you crying?
The fact that this cast was even game to do this is pretty cool. I mean, Patrick Swayze is usually known for like big macho guy movies, you know, stuff like Roadhouse and Dirty Dancing and Ghost. Okay, bad example. But Wesley Snipes, I mean, that's Blade. I mean, I don't know how they got him to be in this movie. And, you know, you can't forget about John Leguizamo as the
Little Latin boy in drag.
classic.
I guess you're never gonna disappoint me, huh?
How could I disappoint you? I'm your knight in shiny green pickup truck, if you don't remember.
Of course I remember. My knight in shining, whatever that was.
There's also a nice bevy of cameos across this whole thing. Like Lady Bunny and Candace Cain show up at one point. Robin Williams is in a scene. Naomi Campbell's in a scene. And, you know, they even got Julie Newmar to come out and be in a movie with her name on it, which is nice. But the best cameo in this is easily RuPaul's, because RuPaul is playing a character with the best drag queen name I've ever heard. Ready for this one? Rachel Tensions. Perfect. I mean, genius stuff there. And this paired with the Confederate flag dress, masterpiece of racial commentary satire.
So excited I could just.
Rachel Tensions is essentially playing the master of ceremonies for the drag queen competition show. You know, almost like she's the host of a drag queen competition show. In fact, doesn't this stage look a lot like the stage from the Drag Race finales? Doesn't this hunky, muscular man here kind of look like the pit crew? Doesn't the RuPaul descend from the ceiling in one of the Drag Race finales? I'm not saying RuPaul stole his idea for his show from this movie. I'm just saying it's worth talking about.
We have a tie!
Winner, winner, 2 chicken dinners.
Look, Ru is barely in this, and really the joke begins and ends with her amazing drag queen name. But, you know, it's still worth pointing out that this is going to be one of the few movies we are going to get where RuPaul is in full drag. A lot of time, we get Boy Ru. Nothing wrong with Boy Ru. I'm just saying, I would have liked to see more Girl Ru in my drag queen adjacent media, but we'll get to it when we get to it. For now, I'll just say I highly recommend To Wong Fu. Go see it if you haven't. And, yeah.
Well done, mama.
Up next, we have Hurricane Bianca, which stars the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6, Bianca Del Rio. This movie was not directed by Bianca, though. This movie was directed by someone named Matt Kugelman, who you might know better as... Yeah, I'm just kidding. You don't know who Matt Kugelman is. This is Matt Kugelman's first film? That we're calling it that? Film. This was Matt Kugelman's first film, and it kind of shows. Not only was this film held by a rookie actor and a rookie director, but this film was made with the whopping budget of $160,000, which I'm no expert on film budgeting, but to me, it sounds like trying to make, you know, a 5-star meal with $4 in a microwave. You know, you could do it in theory. You probably won't.
The moment where we had a meeting and a producer was like, "You cannot make this movie for the budget that you have."
And I was like, "Yes, you can."
And he was like,
"I know how to do the budgets."
I think you said
this movie was also written by Matt Kugelman, as in he is the sole credited screenwriter on this, which, I mean, I'm just going to say it. You had Bianca Del Rio, one of the most accomplished drag queen comedians and the subject of your film, right here, and you didn't think to bring her in to maybe punch up some of this dialogue before you started shooting? Like this one?
You still on that, Nancy Drew?
Well, actually, I look more like Nancy Grace.
Anyway, Hurricane Bianca is about Rick, a gay teacher that no one likes. Hey, don't be mad at me. I didn't write the movie. Get mad at Kugelman, okay?
This is boring.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's working a job at a school in Texas, but then the school board is all homophobic and they fire him because they find out he's a gay.
Single gay male seeks partner who enjoys laughter, music.
So then Rick comes back dressed up as Bianca Del Rio and wins over the school with her unbridled meanness and insult comedy. In general, this wasn't good, and it mainly wasn't good for 3 reasons. 1, not funny, which, bravo, Kugelman. Somehow you made Bianca Del Rio not funny. That's some kind of accomplishment, I guess.
My mother is from Cuba, and my dad is from Honduras, which basically means I have a large dick, no credit, and a tendency to take things that don't belong to me.
Problem 2 is this movie doesn't really understand the character of Bianca Del Rio too well.
Do I owe anybody an apology?
Yeah, the audience. Bianca Del Rio is an insult comic first and foremost, and a damn good one at that, just for the record. But she's not a storyteller or an actor or anything like that, so asking her to helm a full motion picture just doesn't suit her skill sets, and it shows really early on in this movie. In my head, Bianca Del Rio is this really confident and funny character, which is probably why the movie starts with her doing a scene of her bombing stand-up. I mean, sure, why not?
I'm gonna leave when my lease is up, you sun-dried Barbie.
Need help packing? Beat it, Queen.
Let me put it to you this way. You wouldn't put Steven Spielberg in charge of making a stand-up set. He'd probably do a bad job. Or, you know, he might do a good job, actually. Okay, more accurately, there's a reason that Don Rickles, arguably the most accomplished insult comic of all time, to the point where Bianca has literally referred to herself as Don Rickles in a dress before. Yeah, there's a reason his most iconic acting performance is playing a talking potato. He's not a good actor. Actually, this isn't related to the point I'm talking about, but I do have to bring it up. The biggest problem with this movie is that both Willem and Shangela were cast in pretty significant roles and take up a good chunk of the runtime of this movie. And if you don't know why that's a problem, yikes. Finally, problem 3 is, I don't know how to put this nicely. This movie has a lot of scenes where people buy hook, line, and sinker that Bianca is a woman.
She's a dude? A man.
She's a man with one eye.
She looks like Pennywise in a dress. I mean, I'm pretty sure people would clock this from a mile away, especially the already established homophobic school board. I mean, I don't think they're gonna let this face slide. Incidentally, there's a really funny scene in this where the school's cheerleader captain tries to hit on boy Bianca at a football game, and it kind of looks like Amanda Lepore hitting on Timon the meerkat. I don't know what this straight lady was thinking, though, because she's clearly hitting on the only guy at this Texas football game with fucking lip fillers. But it's not all horrible. The credits roll eventually. I'm kidding. There's some nice cast moments in here, I guess. Bianca Lee and Rachel Dratch do a good job with the material they were given. I mean, they were given material written by Matt Kugelman, so, you know, didn't have much to work with. What other people are in this? There's also some nice, like, one-off cameos with Alyssa Edwards and Margaret Cho, and oh shit, is that Jocelyn Fox? Jocelyn, no kidding, I'm a huge fan. Hey, thanks for
Coming.
Oh, you mean cumin?
Coming.
Yeah, it's pronounced cumin.
Coming.
Okay, all right.
Coming.
Speaking of cameos, we have RuPaul, and RuPaul is essentially doing what I'm doing right now and standing in front of a green screen and phoning it in.
This just in, the storm, which is about 1,300 miles from land.
RuPaul's the weatherman in this movie and is reporting on the incoming Hurricane Bianca storm that is supposedly gonna do something but never actually factors into the plot in any meaningful way. And it's very clear to me, at least, that these scenes were shot during in-between time on RuPaul's Drag Race. Not only are these pretty much the exact suits RuPaul wears when he's entering the workroom on RuPaul's Drag Race, I don't even think they had him changed. Like, these two shots clearly are supposed to be like in different suits, but it looks like they just darkened this shot to make it look like it's different. These are two separate points in the movie. I just want to point that out. And, you know, it really doesn't help that RuPaul delivers the lines with about as little enthusiasm as you can muster.
Hurricanes form in tropical regions because they need warm water of at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The most characteristic feature of hurricanes is their eye.
Overall, this movie was not good. I love you, Bianca. I saw you live when you came out here, so shout out you. But yeah, this movie's a lot like Detox's verse on Read You Wrote You.
I ain't saying I'm the best, but I ain't the worst.
Next. One of the notable things about RuPaul's filmography is just how often his films are set in New York. Out of the 26 films he's been in, 8 are set in New York City. That's about a third of RuPaul's filmography being set in the Big Apple. I don't know what the deal was. Maybe he had some legal trouble. That's why he had to stick around there. But I'm not so sure where RuPaul lives right now. It currently says on Wikipedia that he splits time between Los Angeles and some ranch he lives at in Wyoming.
Oh, the fracking?
No, not that.
Oh.
We're not going to cover all the New York movies in this section, but we are going to cover the ones that feature New York as a focal plot point. And I can't think of a better movie to segue into for that than Crooklyn, which is technically RuPaul's first film role, if you don't count some fucking shit we're going to talk about later. Crooklyn comes to us from director Spike Lee, who is one of the most perpetually interesting filmmakers to be working today. Notice I didn't say perpetually good, because he has made great films, don't get me wrong, but for every like Black Klansman or Do the Right Thing we'll get something like this.
Yo daddy, I suck your big black dick for $2.
Crooklyn is a coming-of-age movie centered around 5 children living in, you guessed it, Delaware. No, I'm kidding. They live in Brooklyn. It's not a movie with like a big structure or like a fully fledged plot, but it's kind of trying to tell the story through the eyes of a child, so it kind of keeps it in their perspective, which is kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me of like E.T. in that regard, you know? Honestly, the best way to describe this movie is just Disney's Do the Right Thing. A lot of the choices here work, I'll be honest. Some of them don't. In fact, the choice to shoot these scenes at the aunt's house with an anamorphic lens was apparently so bad that the studio had to send out notices to the movie theater to basically be like, no, yeah, they're supposed to look like Beavis and Butthead in these scenes.
I like the film too. There's one big glaring error I think he makes in the picture. Let me get rid of that and then I'm going to start complimenting the film again. Okay. And that's when she goes off for a trip to relatives in the South, and he compresses the images using an anamorphic lens and makes everything seem squeezed tight. And people are going to wonder whether the projectionist is out of sync or something. And it was a mistake because I think the material, the world there, would have been so different. We could all see it that he didn't need to do that gimmick.
Overall, I really enjoyed Crooklyn. It's beautiful, it's funny, it's great, it's blah, 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 blah. All right, let's get to RuPaul real quick. Our protagonist, Troy, goes into a bodega, and then there's RuPaul just dancing to with the bodega owner.
What are 2 clips that give off the same energy?
Trying to be crack. Yeah, they're trying to be crack. Yeah, she wanted me cut it. That bitch is
and then she never shows up again. It's very random. I don't really know why they got RuPaul for the scene, but I'm not going to complain. It was pretty funny.
Talking about, I ain't no puta. I ain't no puta. I'm cunning. I keep my pantry clean.
Sir, I know that can't be true.
Also, I thought it was pretty funny how RuPaul is credited as Bodega Woman in the credits. That was a good one. Overall, I really enjoyed Crooklyn. I'm a little surprised. I mean, on the Spike Lee making dog shit meter, it doesn't rank very high at all, and it's overall one of his better movies. I mean, I'm going to be shitting on a lot more movies in this review, so just bear that in mind, that I got to give praise where praise is due. Crooklyn is a great movie, and I do highly recommend it.
Brooklyn Heights.
All right, Pam Queer. Oh,
my God!
Yes, big.
You better work, bitch!
Up next, we have the film Blue in the Face. This is a movie starring Harvey Keitel and a litany of other people. Let's see if I can get most of them. We got Roseanne Barr, we got Jim Jarmusch, we have Giancarlo Esposito, there's Lily Tomlin, I think, Keith David's in here, Madonna, Michael J. Fox, Lou Reed, Mira Sorvino, and they even got the kid from Crooklyn back, baby. Yeah! Okay, before we continue, I just want to stress, I know I'm going to use hyperbole a lot in this review, you know, saying like, this movie's the worst thing ever. This movie's the longest movie ever, blah, blah, blah. So trust me, when I say there's no hyperbole in this statement, nothing happens in Blue in the Face. It's literally just scene after scene after scene of characters played by celebrities coming into this smoke shop, and then they talk to Harvey Keitel about some random stuff, and then there's another scene of that. It just goes on for like 90 minutes. Except these boring shop scenes are intercut with just like random shit, like New York street footage, or occasional interviews with New Yorkers, or like, I don't know, fortune cookie quotes, or clips from better movies that I'd rather be watching. Yeah, honestly, the most notable thing about Blue in the Face is that when I was doing research for this movie, I found out it was a sequel to another movie called Smoke. And Smoke is a movie that seems to have more of a through line, kind of. I didn't watch it, but I bring it up because Smoke won a very prestigious film award, the 1996 MTV Movie Award for Best Sandwich.
Sandwich.
Oh, it's a sandwich.
This is real. In 1996, they randomly gave out an award at the MTV Movie Awards for Best Sandwich in a Movie. Here's the sandwich in question. Don't it look tasty? The other nominees were, I think, the movie Four Rooms, which I think is the movie Quentin Tarantino wrote like a segment of, and then a sub sandwich from GoldenEye. But ultimately, Smoke won out for Best Sandwich. And then they never did this category again. And I also can't find any video footage of this being a real thing.
Alert, alert, I'm wrong. There actually is video footage of this award being given out. Here it is.
I'm here tonight to present the award for Best Sandwich in a Motion Picture. This is quite an honor. Aren't they great? Weren't they great? I'm a little nervous because I had sex with the Turkey Club when it auditioned for the Larry Sanders Show. Ham and cheese on sliced bread for Smoke.
You don't have to put too much stock in this, though. This is the same award ceremony where they gave Lifetime Achievement to Godzilla. Not the movie, but the monster. Okay? Anyway, you want to see RuPaul? Okay, here he is. He shows up right at the end, and he does the Brooklyn Cha-Cha for like a minute, and then the credits roll. That's the whole thing. I swear to God.
Ain't no party like a cha-cha party, cause a cha-cha party go on.
I watched 90 minutes of this movie for this one thing. But hey, at least I can do the dancing.
Step, step, cross, open, back, cha-cha bitch. 5, 6, cha-cha bitch.
What did I think of Blue in the Face? To misquote Tia Coffee,
I am serving you an adequate film starring actors and filmed with cameras. Good? No. Bad? No. Still a movie? Just about. The viewers seem vaguely amused by what is happening before them.
the last movie in the New York section is more of a recent offering. It's a movie called Something Great from Netflix. You might know this movie better as that movie that got that Lizzo song really famous. You know, the one that goes,
If anyone's gonna have stress diarrhea, it's me.
So this movie overall it's okay. It's not bad. It's a pretty serviceable and fun little romantic comedy. It's a girl movie, okay? It's a movie for girls. It's a movie made for girls, and I am not girl. I see why girl like it. But it's also a movie for modern day girl, you know, girl who doesn't drink wine after breakup, but smokes fat J's, son. Someone Great stars Jane the Virgin, Chloe from Pitch Perfect, and the girl from the third Jurassic World movie. Basically, the movie's about Jane. She has a boyfriend who's Lakeith Stanfield, and they're dating, and then they break up, and then the girls go on like an adventure around the city to cheer her up, and then they do a big dance at the end. And it's a girl movie. It's a movie for girls. I'm not girl. I'm sorry. I didn't care.
So I am going to play you some really great music. Take the headphones out until I tell you to. Great.
I can feel the seasons changing.
This movie was not for me. I will tell you what is for me, though. RuPaul's appearance in this film.
Hey, come in!
RuPaul appears in this film as a bathrobe-wearing, shark-owning, weed-smoking, drug-dealing uncle to the Jurassic World character, which, I mean, I got blessed on this one.
Hey, I mean, what, you don't do drugs anymore? What?
He steals the show, and I gotta admit, it's pretty funny seeing RuPaul smoke a fatty on screen, even though, you know, no smoke's coming out of it.
Smoke weed every day.
This movie was very boring, except for these scenes, which were hilarious.
Look at this. It's the holy grail of joints.
How? How do you even roll something like this?
Well, it takes a strong will. and 3 papers, baby.
The problem, unfortunately, is RuPaul doesn't have a lot to do in this movie. He basically just shows up and smokes weed and gives his girlfriends advice, which is basically how I spend my day too. But I expect a little more from RuPaul in my movies. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the theme of RuPaul having not much to do in these movies will be a running theme. It's mostly just glorified cameos from here on out. I'm not against a cameo. It just made researching this video a lot harder than it needed to be. But I mean, I can't complain too much because, like, come on. This is like the best cameo yet. I don't even want to watch this movie. I just want a spin-off where RuPaul rides his sharks around the world in search of the greatest weed in the universe. That would be a movie I would recommend. Something great, not as much. It was not something great. Nah.
Have you ever smoked weed before?
Up next, here's the story of a lovely lady who cameoed in a couple of the Brady Bunch movies back in the 90s. What's weird is both a very Brady movie and a very Brady sequel, that's not the titles, whatever they're titled, both came out in the 90s, but the series ended in 1974. Well, this is like a reimagining of the TV series with like a whole new cast, but set in like contemporary modern day, except, you know, 90s contemporary modern day, which is the best contemporary modern day for the record. And I gotta admit, these movies are kind of good. They're not like amazing, don't get me wrong. I mean, they basically have one joke, and that joke is the Brady Bunch do not fit into modern culture because they are old school. But I'll admit it's a joke that they get a lot of mileage out of.
We will trace the path of the ovum through the fallopian tube where the uterine lining is flush to the vagina.
If I had to rank them, I'd say the first one is a little bit better than the second one, if only because it doesn't include a weird incest storyline. Ugh. We'll get to it. So the first Brady Bunch movie, the villain in it is Michael McKean, who's better known as Chuck from Better Call Saul, which was nice.
Bye-bye.
If you've seen either of these movies, you definitely know one thing. Marsha's the best character. She is such a bitch in these movies.
Greg, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, if we don't raise $20,000 in 1 week, we'll have to move.
Go to a new school.
Make new friends.
But Jan, you don't have any friends.
The plot of the first movie is basically this. The Brady Bunch need $20,000 so that they can save their house. So the first hour of this movie is them trying to find ways to get $20,000.
Let's see what's next.
About an hour in, they just find a flyer for like a singing competition, which kind of renders the first hour of this movie pointless, but whatever. So they rehearse their little song, and then they go to the song, and they do the dance in the show, and then they get the money. You know, that's the plot. That's the movie. That's fine.
I'm telling the truth now. We're all born naked and the rest is dread.
If you like your movies kind of dopey and kind of kitschy and kind of with like a weird late 90s, early 2000s vibe, you're probably going to like this one. The second movie, okay, let's get this out of the way. This scene.
Sure, Jan.
Yeah, it's from this movie. This movie does take longer to get going, which is saying something, because technically the plot of the first one doesn't start until an hour in. But everything I liked in the first movie is still present up in the second Brady Bunch movie, but now they just take it in a slightly new direction. It's a little more wacky, it's a little more bizarre, it's a little more island fever, because they're going on vacation in this one. But I can't in good heart recommend this one, mostly because it's a lot...
Side saddle or bareback?
I'm a dick.
Hey, either of you want a hot wiener to go with that?
It's a lot hornier than the first one. Let's say that. I did mention the incest storyline earlier, which goes way too far in this movie for the record. No, movie. Stop. No, we're not doing this. No, we're not doing this. No, stop it. No. Anyway, RuPaul. RuPaul plays the same character in both these movies. That is Miss Cummings, the school counselor, which would be the best name in these movies if we didn't already talk about Rachel Tensions. In the first movie, she just exists to give Jan advice about loving yourself even if you have to wear stupid glasses. I mean, it's not bad advice. I'll let it slide, but like, yeah, who cares?
Jan, come back when you're pregnant. And girl, you better work.
I feel very uncomfortable right now.
In the second movie, it's much of the same, but you might remember I mentioned that the Bradys are on vacation, so they had to shoehorn an excuse for her to be in this movie and not at school working, so she's just at the pool. Anyway, she comes up to give advice, and oh my god, RuPaul, this makeup, what the hell is going on here? Ugh. Anyway, her advice in the second movie essentially amounts to, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Alright, now let the music play!
Keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on dancing all through the night.
Someone also mentioned herstory in the first movie.
It's not history, it's herstory.
So, you know, the doors, the Brady Bunch opened. If you're already like a Drag Race super fan, you probably have Paramount Plus, which probably means that these movies are still on there. Last I checked, they were on there. So, yeah, if you enjoy fun little wacky Brady Bunch movie, give it a shot. It's a good time. When doing research for this, I came across something on Paramount Plus that I need to talk to you about. It's something called Dragging the Classics, emphasis on The Brady Bunch. And it's a remake of an episode of The Brady Bunch. I can't remember which one. I'll put it on screen now. And it stars Bianca Del Rio and Shea Coulee, Kylie Sonique Love, Candy Muse, Nina West, and Ben de la Creme as the female roles on an episode of The Brady Bunch. And then all the male roles are played by the original actors of The Brady Bunch. Like from the 70s. I don't know either.
Like father, like son. Like heck.
Drag is not a contact sport.
First off, every set is CGI for some reason, which raises the obvious question, why did you remake The Brady Bunch if you didn't have access to the Brady Bunch sets? And especially if the sets that you came up with look like they're from fucking Jimmy Neutron. Second, this has all the sizzling appeal of a Drag Race acting challenge, which is to say it sizzles like a pan on a stove that you didn't turn on. In fact, the acting here is almost so bad, it kind of feels like that the cast is being held hostage. Kind of like, I don't know, Paramount Plus has some dirt on some Drag Race contestants, and they were like, if you don't star in this stupid Brady Bunch thing, we're gonna leak all this shit to the world and your career's over. And finally, the title is Dragging the Classics, The Brady Bunch, which kind of implies that there were like gonna be more of these, but no, they never did anything like this, and they never did any more episodes, they never did any other shows. There's not really any information on this thing. I don't know why they did this, other than to give me content for this video, I guess. So thank you for that, at the very least, Paramount Plus. You know, maybe this was like some contractual obligation that they had to do for winning All-Stars. Maybe this was something that Paramount Plus wanted to throw together. Or maybe, probably more accurately, they did this once and realized it was so bad that they should never do this again. If this was a Drag Race acting challenge, here's how the judging would go down. Ben de la Creme wins. Bianca Del Rio is placed high. Shea and Candy are safe. Nina West is low, and the lip sync would be between Kylie Sonique Love and Barry Williams.
Mama, this is garbage. Right here.
Question: what is the difference between RuPaul and a zombie? Well, one is a decaying corpse that is oversaturated in the media landscape, and the other is a zombie. Truth be told, I probably could have just titled this section Zombie High School Movies, because that's what the next two movies are. The first one we're going to talk about is Zombie Prom, which, if you remember earlier, I said we're going to make an exception for a short film. This is the exception. It's 35 minutes, but it is listed on RuPaul's Wikipedia, so it counts. Sure. I mostly want to talk about it, though, because we did it. We finally did it. We finally have a movie where RuPaul is not just in a cameo role. In fact, RuPaul gets top billing on this one. Yeah, the star. No, I'm just kidding. RuPaul is not the star of Zombie Prom. The only thing Zombie Prom has in common with the star is it's a big ball of gas, and it hurt my eyes to look at it after a while. Zombie Prom follows Johnny without the H.
I'm spelling it without the H now. John, without an
I don't want to hear any goddamn excuses anymore.
And his girlfriend, that's really her name? That's really the character's name? That's not the character's name. No, you're lying. No, you're lying. Okay. And his girlfriend, Toffee.
Toffee, Toffee.
Come on, Johnny. All fours.
Johnny and Toffee follow the standard high school boy and girl from different worlds fall in love kind of story arc. He's a football player, she's a cheerleader, you know how it goes. But their love life takes a turn for the worse when Johnny fucking kills himself.
Whoa, she fell. And she fell hard, bitch.
But then he comes back as a green zombie in bad makeup, so, you know, all works out. I just want to mention, for some reason, the intro to this movie is done in the style of a comic book. I'm only mentioning that because I'm going to mention it later. Coffee Bar learns to love Johnny, even though he's a zombie, and then they sing and they dance. I forgot to mention this was a musical, but it's a musical. And since it is a musical, it's basically Grease, okay? It's zombie Grease. That's kind of all you need to know. RuPaul plays the school principal in this, Miss Strick. And you know something? Even though this movie is short, RuPaul is still not in this movie enough. It's incredibly infuriating. It is nice seeing RuPaul in full drag in a movie again. What is not nice is that RuPaul doesn't get his own song in the fucking musical movie he's in. I mean, that's bullshit. I mean, RuPaul is such an accomplished musician. He clearly should have a song in this movie.
Yeah, my pussy fine. I sell it 'cause it's mine. I don't give a fuck if they call me a slut.
Do that if I were you.
You're mad, Flagrante. Why?
You'll never be able to live with yourself having thrown out your own son.
And, yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say about Zombie Prom. When you make your movie less than 40 minutes, there's not much for me to say about it. So let's move on to our next film.
I look pretty good for a dead bitch.
She's alive!
Up next, we have one of the more recent offerings. That would be Z.O.M.B.I.E.S 3, which is the third installment of a Disney Channel original movie series called Z.O.M.B.I.E.S. When I first heard that, my thought was, fuck yeah, I love Disney Channel original movies. Okay, Smart House rules. I will still champion High School Musical 2 as one of the best films of 2007, and I'm honestly probably going to name my child Amaze, the sequel. So yeah, I'm on board for this right away. In fact, I'm so on board, I figured, hey, why don't we check out all the Z.O.M.B.I.E.S movies before we check out Z.O.M.B.I.E.S.THREE, you know? So we'll start first with Z.O.M.B.I.E. Okay, fine, we'll start with Zombies. Zombies is a musical love story that follows the standard boy and girl from high school fall in love, even though they're from different worlds kind of story arc. He's a football player, she's a cheerleader. You know how it goes. Wait a minute. This is the exact same plot as Zombie Prom, which we were just talking about. In fact, this is a musical too. In fact, this movie also starts with comic book panels, just like Zombie Prom. Is this like a prerequisite when you make a shitty zombie movie with RuPaul in it? Zombies follows a high school football player named Zed. Get it? Zed, because zombie starts with Z, and Zed is Z in, like, British or something. Genius, because there's really no other boys' names that start with Z, except, you know, all these ones. Zed is getting ready for school in Zombie Town, and this is intercut with our other protagonist, Addison, also getting ready for school in Normal People Town. And she...
Hi! I'm Addison!
Don't do that. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. The first Zombies is like a chore to sit through, mostly because I didn't know when I started this. Well, okay, actually, here's the live footage of me realizing that this movie was gonna be a musical. Oh my god, I think they're gonna start singing. If they start singing, I'm done. I'm turning it off. I'm 5 minutes in. I want to fucking end this already. Okay, they're not singing. Alright, we're good. No! So, I skipped through most of Zombies 1. I know, how dare I not appreciate the majesty that is Zombies. My bad. But it doesn't appear I missed anything since it goes about as you expected. Zombie likes girl, girl likes zombie, but girl can't like zombie because zombie is from Zombieland. The movie fumbles its clumsy racism allegory, and then they go to a football game, and then Zed's Z chip malfunctions, and he attacks every... Did I flip over 2 pages? What happened? In the end, none of it matters. They sing a big happy song, and everybody lives happily ever after. Now, Zombies 2, this one subverts the formula. This one's about werewolves. The plot here is basically as follows. Zed is running for class president, and Addison needs...
Hi, I'm Addison.
Stop doing that. Addison needs to help the werewolves get a moonstone to evolve their Clefairy into Clefable or whatever. A sequel is theoretically supposed to be superior than the original film, but I guess Zombies 2 over here didn't get the memo because it's inferior to the first movie in every way. It's got worse acting.
Zed! What's wrong?
Werewolves. They're not interested in fitting in.
What? Why are you acting like this?
The movie looks darker and uglier and just not as good as the first one, and all the songs are worse.
I don't know what the fuck she's saying, but girl, I am living.
Particularly the song We Own the Night. Which, if you've ever seen those videos of the cringy lichen people running on the floor, yeah, they're doing it to this song. By the end of this, I was just getting annoyed that the scariest thing in these movies with zombies and werewolf is this fucking shrimp mascot. You know, the shrimp mascot, and also Addison, the most horrifying person in the world. But the movie ends on a cliffhanger in which Addison gets blue hair, and that segues us nicely into Zombies 3. This one's about aliens, aka the one with RuPaul. So let's go. We begin with an intro that does a poor job of establishing what happened in the last movie, although that's probably just because I didn't watch the last movie all the way through. Sorry.
We started off as a perfectly planned community, full of cheer.
Then zombies showed up.
And then werewolves.
Slow the fuck down. What is happening? Followed by the reintroduction of our main character, Zed, and... Is she gone? She's not gonna scare me this time. Okay. This movie reintroduces our protagonists, Zed and Addison. I just want to say, describing the plot of this movie, it's basically a plot that I can only describe by like starting every sentence with the word so. So, we're gonna do that. We're just gonna relay the plot of this movie because it's honestly more interesting than talking about RuPaul's appearance. So let's just do it, alright? Let's go. So our heroes have a dilemma. Addison has gotten to the nebulously named Mountain College, but they're not so keen on accepting Zed to Mountain College on account of the whole zombie thing, which doesn't make any sense because by this third movie, they literally have put Zed's face on the side of the school bus. I'm pretty sure they like this kid.
This should be crazy!
So quick, go in there!
So there's a big football game, and if Zombie High wins, then Zed gets to go to Mountain College because that's how scholarships work in this universe, apparently. There's also a cheer-off happening in the future that Addison's gonna do, so that's important. It comes up later, trust me.
Okay, everyone, let's give it up for our football team as they head off to victory. Here they come!
Yeah, let me get it. That one cheerleader decides to remove, then disaster hits.
All this boring stuff is interrupted when the aliens invaded. Hey, Harry Styles! I didn't know he was in this. So the aliens invade, and Zed's like all trustworthy of them for some reason. I guess because this movie is doing clumsy racism allegory again. But Addison's like, no, I hate aliens. I'm not going to deal with the aliens at all. So the aliens basically try to integrate into regular life, and then they Okay, let's move away from how horrifying this movie is for just a quick second and talk about something else. The music. It sucks.
We're gonna be someday. We're gonna be someday. Someday, someday. We're gonna be someday.
The music ranges from basically okay in the case of the first movie's signature tune. Fuck, what is it called? I just watched this movie like 2 days ago. What is it? This is it. So, yeah, this is the one. Someday. That's the song. Someday. Never mind, shut it off. Or they're pretty awful songs, like most of the songs in the third movie. Yeah, I'd want to shoot him with arrows too after that performance. My favorite instance of bad songs in any of these movies is in this third movie, where we get the songs Exceptional Z and then Exceptional Z Reprise, or Reprise, however it goes. Basically, Zed sings a song about how he's going to get into college because he's exceptional.
I'm exceptional, Zed, to all my family and friends.
And then he gets met with this like recruiting lady or whatever from the college who goes, you're not going to college. To which this happens. And then this happens.
I'm exceptional, Zed.
I'm exceptional, Zed. It's hilarious. All right, where were we in the plot?
I'd be happy to on you, Zed.
So the aliens need the werewolves to like get a crystal thing or whatever, and that leads to another great moment where they like know that the force field is down and because they wave their hand in front of it and it's not there. Meanwhile, Addison is questioning her feelings for Zed.
Zed and I are a couple, and we want to be together forever? Well, if he gets into Mountain College, then yeah.
Yeah, you fucking bitch. So Zed tries to do good at sports, but the aliens keep upstaging him at sports, with like interferes with his potential to get to Mountain College.
Hey, aliens, you are ruining my chances to get into Mountain College.
And then Addison has like nothing to do for this like first half of this movie, and then the characters keep saying like comedy gold.
I mean, have you guys tried banging?
Eventually, the aliens realize that the map back to their home planet is in the map for the cheer-off. Remember that from earlier? The cheer-off, see, it's coming back full circle. It is a good plot. So the aliens go to the cheer-off, but they get disqualified, or as the movie puts it... Squalified? But by this point in the movie, Addison realizes she needs to help the aliens because, well...
Grandma Auntie was an alien? My mom's an alien?
What? Oh, by the way, if you were wondering about Zed getting into college...
I just got accepted into Mountain College!
There you go, that's that story arc resolved for you. Then Addie does the cheer competition and she kills it. I mean, kills it. Like, look at this. Look, how did she do that? It's amazing. But then the werewolves show up and they're pissed.
She wants your
She can have it.
So our heroes run off, and then they realize, oh, it turns out that the map back home is not in the trophy for the cheer-off. It's in Addison.
Addison is our map.
Okay. So the aliens then have to take Addie back to their ship so that they can go home, which... okay, wait, I'm not letting that one slide. That makes no sense. You're telling me these things have alien technology that can get them across the universe and to Earth, but they somehow do not have technology to extract DNA into like a PDF. It's a little hard to believe there, Zombies 3. Get your fucking shit straight. I mean, God, that's the most unbelievable thing I've heard in this movie about zombies and aliens and werewolves and shrimp. No, shrimp, get away from me! Oh, right, RuPaul. The talking spaceship is RuPaul. I forgot to mention that. Call me Mothership, if you will. I won't lie to you. RuPaul does say one of the only kind of funny parts of this movie. So here's that.
Someone's coming. Mothership, beam us up now.
Mothership, beam us up. Do our laundry. Calculate the trans-temporal quantum jump. You'll stay down there until you learn some manners.
But it does raise the question, because we don't ever see RuPaul physically in this. Why is RuPaul in this? Like, why did they cast RuPaul to play the ship? She's not in the other movies. She's not in Zombies 4, apparently, which I think includes the aliens. I'm not watching any more of these fucking movies. So what gives? I mean, this is probably the most inconsequential part RuPaul has played yet. So I'm not really sure what the idea with casting her was. It's very pointless. Okay, let's wrap this up. Wait, actually, what happens after this? Okay, so the aliens are gonna take Addison away, but then they're like, no, don't go back to Earth, you're so sexy. But she goes anyway, and then Werewolf Boy admits he has feelings for Zombie Girl. Okay, that was a plot element I forgot to tell you about too.
Ow.
Did he just woo at her? Yikes. But then Addison realizes, oh, actually, I don't care about the aliens. I care more about my boyfriend. So she goes back to Earth, and then the aliens presumably die horribly off screen, and then they have another song, and then the movie ends.
All right, now take your shit and get the fuck out of here.
All right. Okay, remember back in the beginning of this video when I said I was going to talk about Stockard Channing? Well, this is the section where that happens. Stockard Channing is an Academy Award nominated actress who might as well be the queen of 1990s Lifetime movies. She was in such luminary classics as The Fish Who Saved Pittsburgh.
It's the fish that saved Pittsburgh.
That's Not My Kid.
Tonight,
The drugs I've done, PCP, cocaine.
George Segal and Stockard Channing are concerned parents.
I thought other people's kids did drugs, not my kid.
And my personal favorite, The Baby Dance.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me.
It's also worth noting that Stockard Channing has appeared in more films with RuPaul than any other actor, a whopping 3 appearances. One of those appearances is the film An Unexpected Life, which we're going to talk about. Also, slight digression. The next 3 movies that we're going to talk about were they're TV movies. They didn't get like streaming releases with HD footage or like DVD re-releases or whatever. So all I had to go on was these low quality VHS rips. So that's what I have to use. But since we are using that, I wanted to do this. All right. Okay, let's begin. An Unexpected Life is actually the sequel to another Lifetime original movie, An Unexpected Family, which actually got Screen Actors Guild Award and Emmy Award nominations for their performances. So, yeah, you could make the argument that RuPaul's path towards becoming an Emmy winner himself was started with this movie. I'd argue against that. I don't think you'd win that argument, but you could make it if you really wanted to. Anyway, so An Unexpected Life is about... Yeah, sorry. How do I feel about this movie?
It sucks.
Yeah. Basically, the plot of this movie is Stockard Channing gets pregnant and she has a kid, but it turns out she might hate her kid because it's an unexpected life, I guess. And then the other half of this movie is the husband being a dickhead.
Because I told her about the baby, I told her she's going to become a grandmother.
Why? You don't even like her.
I thought maybe one thing I've done might impress her.
How exactly did you think blasting a load in your wife was going to impress your mom? Okay, look, I mean, Stockard Channing's always great, and she is great in this, and I'll admit that this is a sequel, so maybe if I watched the first movie before I watched this, I might have given a shit about what happens in this one, but I didn't, so I don't. Let's just move on to what RuPaul does in this movie.
Now, sissy that wow.
So RuPaul plays Charles, makeup artist / hairdresser who does drag on the side.
Look at that.
What? Oh my god, it's amazing.
You're beautiful.
Thank you, baby.
Pretty unremarkable performance, even by RuPaul standards. Really only in this movie for like 5 minutes, 4 minutes with this scene, and then 1 minute at the end to sing a song at a wedding with It's not Jennifer Lewis. What are you doing here? So she sings a crappy song with Jennifer Lewis, or a shitty ditty as I call it, and yeah, that's the end of the movie. An Unexpected Life was, as to be expected, bad. But you know what? That's just how Lifetime movies usually are. I'm not gonna act surprised.
It's not bad, it's just not good.
Up next, we have A Mother's Prayer, which I consistently confuse with An Unexpected Life, but that's not unfounded. I mean, these movies do have a lot of similarities. The first one of the Unexpected movies was directed by the director of A Mother's Prayer. There's some boring aspects of these movies that are similar. Some of the cast members between these two movies are the same, and they're also boring in this movie. Oh, and all the boring things about this movie are in the last movie, because this movie was really goddamn boring, and I really did not like it. Okay, so in this movie, Linda Hamilton plays the Terminator. Okay, no. So Linda Hamilton plays a New York mother, a New Yorker who gets suddenly diagnosed with a case of AIDS and must figure out how to ensure her son is going to be well off and well taken care of after she dies of said disease. Jesus Christ, this is a really dark premise for a RuPaul movie, but you know what? That's okay. This movie handles it with class and elegance, and all the care you need when you're discussing a subject as tough to deal with as AIDS, is what I would have said if this movie did any of that at all. First off, if Stockard Channing is the queen of Lifetime movies, then Linda Hamilton is like the Duchess of the USA Network, okay? She too has been in a lot of TV movies, but you know what? Okay, Bermuda Tentacles, pretty good title. It's no The Fish Who Saved Pittsburgh, okay? It's no The Baby Dance, all right? You got some catching up to do, Linda. Also, remember how I said that the last movie got award nominations? Well, this also got an award nomination for Best Actress at the Golden Globes for Linda Hamilton. Yeah, and you would think that would mean her performance in this is really good, right? It's an okay performance. It's a heavy topic, and so you had to deal with some heavy stuff. So I mean, I get it. I just don't think personally this was worthy of any kind of awards attention. The only attention this movie deserves is for how insensitive the dialogue is.
Hey, AIDS boy. You're a liar. Come on, don't be retarded too.
Listen to me. Yes, you have a cold. But the reason you're not getting better is because you also have AIDS.
Jesus Christ. I couldn't have made this up if I tried. Golden Globe nominee, everybody. Third and finally, this movie hinges on the bond between a dying mother and her son, and it makes it kind of difficult to root for that relationship when the son is the most irritating piece of shit I've ever seen in a movie in my life.
If you had AIDS, that would mean you'd die.
Yeah?
What happens to me?
Yeah, Mom, I know you're dying of AIDS and all, but can we make this about me for a second? I get that he's a kid. I get that he might not know what's going on because he's a kid and all, but like...
Magic Johnson has what you have, and he played in the Olympics.
Dude, okay, here's a good example. This is the scene right before Linda Hamilton is presumably going to die of AIDS. Literally, this is this character's mother, presumably dying of AIDS in the next scene. This is what her son says to her in this moment.
Mom?
Yeah?
Will you do me one favor before you die?
Yeah, TJ?
Get rid of the Prom.
You fucking asshole, dude. I think you might have done something wrong as like a director if, you know, you put a kid in your movie and the best scene involving said kid is the scene where he gets the shit kicked out of him.
Hey.
Yeah! Beat him up, let's go! Yeah! Oh, toughen up, baby. You're acting like your mom has AIDS. You know what? Never mind. What else? Oh yeah, RuPaul. I almost forgot. RuPaul plays like an HIV/AIDS guidance counselor thing. I don't know what the technical term is, but he's actually pretty good in it. And overall, it's one of his better performances. And I would actually have more to say about it if it weren't for the fact I keep getting distracted by RuPaul's giant fucking eyebrows in this movie. Look at this. Look at it. It's crazy. How are they this big? It looks like caterpillars. I try to, like, you know, approach this with, like, respect and genuine quality, especially considering the subject matter. But then I just think about those eyebrows. That's all I got. I don't know. I'm sorry. Let's just move on to the next section.
For the first time in this competition, I am blocking out my brows. Woo.
Look at me, straight on. Relax.
That is. That's relax.
Our final TV movie sees the triumphant return of Stockard Channing. That's right, baby. The Queen of Lifetime Movies is back, and she's starring in the Y2K classic, The Truth About Jane. And the truth about Jane is that she sucks. No, I'm kidding. The truth about Jane is she's not like other girls, okay? While these girls are over here drinking Brist iced tea for their lunch, Jane's out here drinking unlabeled Gatorade like a motherfucking rebel. Okay. The truth about Jane actually is she's gay, and this movie is about a teenager figuring out their burgeoning sexuality, which is a very serious subject matter, yes, but this movie's attempts to discuss that subject matter are often hilarious.
What happened? I'm gay and everyone hates me.
Coming this fall to NBC, I'm Gay and Everyone Hates Me, Mondays at 9.
Like, there's this scene where Jane and her girlfriend Beth are making out, and then Jane says this.
Did this make me gay?
Or there's this other scene where her and Beth, I think, have sex for the first time, and then after they do, Beth says this.
Which I don't think I am. Okay, first of all, it doesn't make you gay.
Oh, well, my mistake. I thought having gay sex made you pretty gay, but I guess I was mistaken. I also love this scene where Jane comes home, like, blackout drunk, and so she thinks it's a good idea to sneak through her parents' open bedroom window. Of course her parents catch her, obviously, and then her dad says this to her.
You been drinking?
Yes.
It's a laugh out loud, riot, except for that one part where the parents found out that the teacher was gay, and so they reported it to the school board, and then that got the teacher fired, and that teacher was essentially Jane's only support vehicle. So when she left the school, Jane felt no support and therefore had a huge nervous breakdown and threatened to kill herself. Yeah, that part wasn't very funny at all, actually. Look, the movie's main problem here is that the main character's parents suck. Like, the whole point is they're supposed to be bigots and they learn to not be bigots by the end of the movie, but it's like they treat Jane like garbage this whole time, and then it's supposed to be okay because they like go to a gay pride parade. Like, come on, guys, you literally grounded your daughter for being gay at one point in this movie.
You're grounded again.
Why?
Because you're gay.
Well, at least that leads to this hilarious scene when Becky breaks up with Jane.
But I love you. No, you don't.
Let her down easy, dude. She just got grounded.
What'd you do? I didn't die.
Okay, I had crystallized.
Oh.
And now I'm a glamazon bitch ready for the runway.
At one point, the teacher comes back to the parents' house, be like, yo, Jane confided in me that she's like suicidal and sad, to which the dad does this.
Well, did you know that your daughter came to my house tonight thinking that suicide was one of her options?
So they have like a sit-down talk, and then through the talk, it's revealed that the parents were actually only being homophobic bigots because they thought everyone else was being homophobic bigots. Honey, I know we nearly drove you to kill yourself, but listen, we were only doing it because of peer pressure. It's fine. Can't you forgive us? We went to a gay pride parade for you, for God's sakes. Lastly, RuPaul. Oh my God, RuPaul, no, don't kidnap that child. No, Jane, don't go in there. No, just kidding. Okay, so in this movie, RuPaul is present. He says lines, and lines are often said back to him. It's breathtaking. It's almost like acting. He essentially plays Stockard Channing's like shoehorned in gay friend to try to make it seem like Stockard Channing isn't a huge bigot in this movie, but oops, it didn't work. She still seems like a piece of shit. But I will say this. After watching all three of these Lifetime movies, I did figure something out. There is a reason RuPaul did all these, and it's the connecting thread that I'm pretty sure all three of these movies gave RuPaul a big fat paycheck. Overall, these Lifetime movies were bad, don't get me wrong, but you do get to see RuPaul in a cowboy hat, so that's a plus.
You know, you take away the message, and what is your talent?
Lesbians!
Girl, protect queer art, but is she giving us anything worth protecting? That's the question.
Up next, this section is called The Gay Movies, because these are the movies that center specifically around being
Gay! Okay!
In this portion of the review, we will be looking at two films, one for the guys and one for the ladies. I can't believe I did that. In this portion of the review, we'll be looking at two films, one for gays and one for lesbians. Let's start with the lesbians, with But I'm a Cheerleader. Starring Russian doll herself, Natasha Lyonne, and starring my personal god queen of the universe, Clea Duvall. In this movie, we follow the titular cheerleader as she is sent to a anti-gay conversion therapy camp. You know what I'm talking about, those kind where they try to pray the gay away or whatever. The camp tries to rid her of the vile gayness, but the camp fails to sway cheerleader's sexuality, and accompanied by her fellow gays, along with aforementioned god queen of the universe, Clea Duvall, they all escape the gay camp and they go out and they do gay stuff. Look, full disclosure, I first saw this movie when I was like a 13 or 14-year-old teenage boy, and a dumb teenage boy at that. So I saw it and I didn't give it any credit, and I wrote it off as a dumb girl movie. But now I'm older, don't ask how old, and I decided, you know what, it is finally fair that I give this movie the full rewatch it deserves. I mean, it has developed a pretty big cult following since it's come out. If you go on Letterboxd, this thing has a 4.0 average out of 5, which is kind of crazy. I'm not saying this movie's bad or anything, but according to Letterboxd, this movie is better than American Psycho and The Substance and Jaws, and the movies Coda and Anora, which I only bring up because those movies won Best Picture recently. So yeah, basically, according to Letterboxd, this movie is better than your average Best Picture winner. So after seeing this film with more mature eyes on a rewatch, did it finally become that classic for me that it seems to have become for a bunch of other people? Kind of. I think it's pretty fair to say that I'm not this movie's target audience, but despite that, I did find a lot more to enjoy in this movie on my second watch. There are parts of this movie that are really good, like the tongue-in-cheek humor of everything. I mean, I'll just give you a pro tip. If you want to make a movie that Amaze is gonna like, make it a satirical comedy. I eat that up.
Graham, I hope you're getting a little more out of this program than that over there.
Mr. Eaton, I don't find that appropriate.
No. He's right.
So I did love a lot of the jokes in this movie, but they did make me laugh, which is ultimately all a joke needs to do. But I also have to be honest and say that a lot of these jokes are kind of obvious. Not bad obvious, I guess, but it's something like, okay, this girl here looks gay, and the joke is, she's not gay. Whoa. And this character, who looks gay, is gay. Okay, so whatever. Granted, a lot of these complaints are in hindsight because there's a good chance that But I'm a Cheerleader invented a lot of the gay movie tropes that I'm complaining about, but at the same time, like, of course this lesbian movie has a scene where they sneak off and go to a leather bar. What lesbian movie doesn't have this scene? Also, this movie rides a really fine line between looking pretty good and looking really, really bad. And there's no happy medium between those two. It's either going to look like shit or it's going to look good. I think a good example is the scene where they're repairing the car. I get why it's funny that these comically inaccurate penis-shaped wrenches are in the background, but like, this car over here, they couldn't find a car to match these wrenches, so instead of painting the wrenches a different color, they just painted the car like this, like over the windows and everything. It looks like shit, right? I'm the only one who cares, huh? Either way, I don't think this is what I would call an A-list cast, but I do think the acting in this movie is overall pretty fun and pretty enjoyable. I don't know if I could call it good, not when there's scenes like this.
I'm not perverted. I get good grades. I go to church. I'm a cheerleader.
Why are you laughing?
But again, it's not a movie you're supposed to take seriously. It's a satirical comedy, after all. You're not going to get Moonlight-level performances in a movie called But I'm a Cheerleader, okay? I will also say this movie has a lot of great side characters. So I'm always down for anything Melanie Lynskey is in. Michelle Williams is in this for like half a second as an unnamed cheerleader. And the lovely Julie Delpy is also in this movie as a lipstick lesbian, according to the credits, which I think gives this movie an extra point automatically. But the best performance in this movie is, without question, Catherine Moriarty is the head of the conversion camp. I mean, look, I wanted to give it to RuPaul. He almost got there, but he just didn't make the finish line as the best performance in this movie. I'm sorry, I hate to tell you. But he still is good. He plays one of the counselors who describes himself as,
I myself was once a gay. Now I'm an ex-gay, Megan.
This is definitely one of RuPaul's best performances, and I would probably say it's the fan favorite amongst people if you had to ask what is the best performance of RuPaul, but it's not my favorite performance, and let me tell you why. There's this whole element throughout the movie where you keep waiting for a big RuPaul scene. You keep waiting for RuPaul to do something big, and he just kind of never does. Don't get me wrong, his presence isn't unwelcome in the movie, but yeah, he shows up, he says a line about how he's not gay, and that's kind of the extent of it. And I kind of wish there was a bit more of a payoff to this character. I mean, at the end of the day, why did you cast RuPaul for this? You could have really cast any flamboyant gay man to play this part, not a drag queen. RuPaul doesn't even get in drag in this fucking movie. Granted, this all sounds like I'm complaining, and really I'm not, because whenever RuPaul is on screen in this movie, it's hilarious. Whether it be his way too tight pants, or his straight fried t-shirt, or his comical attempt to do a straight guy voice.
3 times up in 20! That means inside.
At the end of the day, is this movie good? Yes. Is it the ultra super classic to me that it seems to be for a lot of other people? I don't think I'm ready to go there yet. But I am comfortable giving this movie a 7 out of 10 on both the RuPaul front and on the general movie front, and I think that's pretty fair for right now.
Take the credit, bitch. You the one who said it, bitch. You don't regret it.
Up next, we have another gay sequel. It's called Another Gay Sequel, Gays Gone Wild, which is the sequel to Thelma and Louise. No, I'm kidding. It's actually the sequel to another gay movie, which, if you remember, won the Academy Award back in the day for Best Original Screenplay. No, I'm kidding. It actually won 11 Oscars at the 2006 Oscars, including Best Original Screenplay, Best Picture, and Best Actor for Jonah Blechman for his acclaimed performance as Nico in this film. It did lose Best Director to John Whitesell for Big Mama's House 2, which, you know, you can't win them all. It wasn't a clean sweep, but hey, another gay movie can't hang its head high as one of the best gay films of all time. Right? No. I suppose I should talk about both Another Gay Movie and Another Gay Sequel, because when am I ever going to talk about these movies again? So yeah, let's do it. So this movie follows 4 gay friends: Andy, Nico, Daphne, and Ringo. I don't remember their names. So Another Gay Movie starts off with... Oh my god, what the fuck, dude? This is all luckily revealed to be a dream sequence. And then the movie starts proper with our main character shoving vegetables up his butt.
No! And cut. That's your orgasm, Melissa?
Have you ever had one?
And then after the vegetable butt scene, it's time for the boys to graduate high school.
Graduation speech was awesome!
And that's when we meet Muff, the de facto lesbian character in this movie, who is played by actress Ashley Atkinson, who has been in movies like Black Klansman and The Wolf of Wall Street, Bridge of Spies, The Inside Man. But honestly, I think this is probably her best film to date.
Fist his ass!
Muff then convinces our heroes that the only way they can be true gays before they go off to college is to do
Anal dudes.
Which, incidentally, is this movie's title in Europe. What follows is essentially a bunch of gay jokes and also a bunch of gay sex scenes that I'm not going to put on this video because I want to keep my YouTube channel up. Thank you very much.
So, Jared, did you ever, like, you know, get to third base, like, finger someone?
Yeah, of course.
Is that what gay third base is? I had no idea. This movie has so much to teach. I mean, this is exactly what being gay is like. Right, gay people watching?
Man, I am wicked horny.
Ugh, girl, same. Honestly, most of this movie, pretty awful and not much to report on. So unless you've been desperately seeking a movie where Graham Norton fucks someone in the ass with a comically oversized prosthetic penis, I don't think I can recommend this one. Hopefully the next film, Another Gay Sequel, isn't quite as overtly homosexual. Let's see how Another Gay Sequel starts. Oh my god, dude! The synopsis of this movie is that the boys are back and they're gayer than ever, except that's a lie because none of the original cast came back for this one. Except, of course, Academy Award winner Jonah Blechman. He does reprise his role as Nico from the first movie. Thank God. I was going to go crazy if he wasn't here.
I realized, oh, that was just totally my own issues. Like, this is actually brilliant. This is so smart. It's speaking so much to in a way that has never been spoken before.
And also, guess who's back? Muff! Yeah!
Sorry I can't make it this time, boys.
Speaking.
All right, never mind. That was short-lived. The plot of Another Gay Sequel, The Empire Strikes Back, is that Nico, Raphael, Blanche, and Dale Gribble, I still don't remember their names, go to Fort Lauderdale for vacation, or rather, gay vacation. You see what I mean? A gaycation. Willem! Hey girl, what's up? Chad Michaels, good to see you. So they get to their resort in Fort Lauderdale, and that is when we meet RuPaul's character, Tyrell.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Tyrell.
It's Tyrell.
Excuse me, Tyrell. So Tyrell introduces the resort members to the Gays Gone Wild event, which is essentially a competition in which you try to have sex with as many gay men as possible in order to get fuck stamps. Whoever gets the most fuck stamps by the end of the competition wins. So it should be as simple as just fuck the most guys, get the most fuck stamps, win, but they keep throwing in things to make the competition interesting.
Today's winning team will all receive 1 bonus fuck stamp.
You know, it's like All-Star 7 rules. They knew who they wanted to get to the finale of the Gays Gone Wild event. Okay, it's been rigged from the start. These challenges didn't matter. So, look, I mentioned the last movie was mostly gay jokes and gay sex scenes, but, you know, that's different in this time. Now it's just all gay sex scenes. I'm not even joking with you. There's so much of this movie I can't show, or if I am showing, I'm showing just, like, pixelated, covered up, because, yeah, it's pretty crazy how much gay sex there is in this movie. In fact, spoilers for something coming up later in this review. There is a gay porn film that we are going to talk about that probably does not have as many gay sex scenes as Gays Gone Wild 2. This movie is so gay, even the crabs are gay and are having sex with each other. But there is kind of like a through line plot, okay? Nico is like bummed out that no one will fuck him. Blanche and Raphael are a couple now, and for some reason they agree to do this event even though it will obviously jeopardize their relationship. They're like, whatever. And Dale falls in love with some other guy, which jeopardizes his chance of potentially becoming
Miss Gay Gone Wild.
right, what he said. Eventually, our heroes just realize that they can fuck each other to get fuck stamps, and so they just fuck each other, and then the bottom falls out of the plot boat really fast, and this just becomes scenes of guys having sex with each other. But then other stuff happens. Nico meets Stan the Merman, who looks a lot like Zac Efron from High School Musical. Then there's something I can only describe as an extended vomit sequence. There's a part where there's a song about getting peed on.
Whenever I feel dour, I dream and count the hours till I dance in golden showers with you.
That comes right before a part where a guy gets peed on, and he does not look happy about it at all. There's also a scene with a guy in a dog mask that I can't show you. I really cannot show you, but man, do I want to show you. If you watch this movie, keep an eye out for the dog mask part. Oh, here's a lovely scene in which our main character's father has a giant butt plug falling out of his asshole. And just in case you thought this movie might like calm down towards the end, bam, gay zombies. It's just whatever. Hey, look, I think Zed's in here. And it all ends with a, no joke, 5-minute long, hardcore gay gangbang sex scene, which is honestly the second most disgusting thing that's in this movie, next to Perez Hilton. Yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So noted Drag Race pariah Perez Hilton, which if you know, you know, is in this movie playing himself, except not really. It's weird. The idea is he's going to the Gays Gone Wild vacation event thing, and then he suffers massive head trauma, and then he gets amnesia, and then takes on a new life as like a devout, born-again Christian who's like super against homosexuality in any way, and then goes to the event trying to preach against it, which is a weird character choice anyway, but he still refers to himself as Perez Hilton in the movie. He's still playing himself. So what I just don't get is why you would cast someone in your movie to play themselves and then basically go, hey, don't play yourself at all. But then again, I wouldn't cast Perez Hilton in my movie no matter what, so maybe it's for the best. Look, unless you've been desperately seeking a movie in which a gay three-way accidentally has their lube replaced with super glue, and they accidentally super glue themselves into like a butt fuck position, and the only way they can get out of the butt fuck position is to pull each other apart while super glued to the point where they pull each other's skin off and it bleeds everywhere, then no, I don't recommend another gay sequel, or another gay movie for that matter. Sorry, Jonah. I know you really want to win that second Academy Award for Best Actor, but hopefully you can get that when the third movie, Gays in Space, comes out.
To another gay movie strikes back.
Gays in Space!
It's just malicious, just gay faggotry that I just was not thinking we were going to run into here.
3, 2, 1. Up next we have Oh, fuck yeah. Dangerous Liaisons starring John Malkovich and Michelle Pfeiffer. A movie that actually won 3 Oscars. A movie directed by Stephen Frears, who's actually made good movies before. Well, this is a dream come true. Let's put this on the biggest TV in the whole house and turn the volume up to the max and start this thing. I'm ready. Let's go. Oh. Well, I knew that wasn't John Malkovich. No, this is actually the 2005 gay porno Dangerous Liaisons, and let me just say, you motherfuckers better be grateful for me for this video, because I didn't just watch a gay porno for this. For research, I watched a 4-hour gay porno for this fucking video. For research, in order to find RuPaul in this fucking thing. And guess what? Guess what the fuck happened? RuPaul's in this thing for 5 goddamn seconds. There's like a scene where I don't even know what happened. I skipped through most of it. There's like a scene with a bunch of D-list celebrities and paparazzi. There's RuPaul. There he is. Get ready. I'm going to show you his whole scene. Here we go. Yep, that was it. Why is RuPaul in this pornography movie? Why is this movie listed amongst the rest of RuPaul's filmography as if it's some normal movie? Why do bad things happen to good people? The answer to all these questions and more is pretty simply, I don't know. But if the question is, do I recommend this specific 4-hour gay porno as a film recommendation? Yeah, I'm gonna go with a no on that one. Lucky for all you, by the way, the ending of this movie not only is hilarious, but doesn't feature any nudity, so I get to show it to you. So this guy is showing this weird hypnotism video to a bunch of people at an art museum, and I can't show you the hypnotism video because it's mostly just gay sex. But this guy with the big collar, he just gets so offended by it and hates it that he just leaves and he walks out. And that makes the guy who showed the video really, really smug. And then the whole crowd is looking around like, what happened? And then, I don't know. And then smug guy's just smugging over here. And then this guy shows up. And at first I had no idea who he was because he has clothes on in this scene. And he sure didn't have clothes on in the other scenes. But then he pulls out a gun and, well, okay, I'm gonna make this perfectly clear. I did not do anything to this edit. This is exactly how this movie ends. Watch.
Let me liberate you with a different point of view.
This is just soft porn. It's kind of hot.
Look, Dangerous Liaisons has one of the worst cameos out of any of the RuPaul movies. You want to know what the worst cameo is? All right, let's get into it. This is the 1996 film Fled, starring Lawrence Fishburne and everyone's second favorite Baldwin brother, Steven! Yay! Steven and Lawrence play diametrically opposed criminals who escape a chain gang and have to go do some action movie stuff to deal with it. It's basically the Defiant Ones, but with a subtle gay subtext.
Better hurry up. Come on, baby. Say I do.
Okay, maybe not that subtle. Fled is formulaic and boring. It's basically the 1990s equivalent of those kind of movies you'd see at Redbox that star like Jean-Claude Van Damme or John Boyd or whatever D-list actor they could get in this thing. And there's pretty much nothing worth showing, except this.
Room service?
That part was funny. Okay, so here's the awful cameo. In Fled, RuPaul plays herself, and I'm just gonna show you the scene that happens. So the two main characters are running away from the police or whatever it is, and then they happen to find RuPaul. Hey RuPaul, what's up? Oh, cool, you got a car? Can we get your car? And Ru goes,
yes, honey.
And then they get Ru's car, and then they leave. And that's the scene. That's the entire scene. Which, okay, one, why did you get RuPaul in this at all? Why was this anybody? Why this could have been a nameless pretty lady extra? Why did you get a 6-foot-tall drag queen to play this part? It's also worth noting though that this was the third movie I ended up watching for the review, and so yeah, waiting all this time, over an hour of screen time to see RuPaul in this movie for basically 30 seconds with like half of the line, yeah, it wasn't worth it, and it definitely didn't bode well for the rest of the movies in this review, I'll tell you that much.
Girl, prison, honey.
Oh god. Okay. Oh boy. Up next, it's Show Dogs. Look, out of all of RuPaul's movies, even against Zombies 3, even against all those Lifetime movies, even against the 4-hour gay porno we just talked about, This is still easily the worst film I had to watch for this entire exercise. This movie stars Ludacris as a dog.
Oh, this is ludicrous.
And it also stars Will Arnett, who you may know better as the voice of BoJack Horseman, which I'll just say has ruined this poor man's acting career for me because I cannot see this man in anything without immediately thinking of a depressed horse.
Piece of shit. Stupid piece of shit. You're a real stupid piece of shit. But I know I'm a piece of shit. That at least makes me better than all the pieces of shit who don't know they're pieces of shit.
There's also a smorgasbord of cameos from whatever celebrity they could get to be in this piece of shit for 5 minutes. So you get Gabriel Iglesias as a pug, and you get Shaq as a shaggy dog.
What's up, boy?
And you get Natasha Lyonne again as some kind of weird monster dog human hybrid thing. I'm not sure what they were going for with this one. Natasha, by the way, if for some reason you're watching, I just want to formally apologize for calling you a dog-faced monster woman. That was out of line. Sorry. Okay, so what's Show Dogs all about anyway?
I'm working a kidnapping case. A baby panda was stolen from my mother, and the people who did it are somewhere at this party.
Best in show, eh? Really? I'll get an extra cage.
Turn this shit off. Turn this movie off. Instead of talking to you about how bad this movie is, because there's plenty of videos online already about how bad Show Dogs is, I'm just going to kind of tell you how this movie impacted me personally. A few minutes ago, you might remember I said that Fled was the third film I watched for this review. Well, the fourth film I watched was Show Dogs, and I actually watched Fled and Show Dogs on the same day. This is what we in the business call a bad idea. Well, what made it worse is this is yet another RuPaul film in which he doesn't show up for a long stretch of time. In fact, most of RuPaul's movies, he doesn't show up until at least half an hour in. If you want the short version, Show Dogs is so bad that it actually made me consider not making this video. But then, just when things were looking their darkest, this guy shows up.
Hey!
The only one in the world.
And what happened next? On YouTube, they say, the Laser Maze's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Yes. In Show Dogs, RuPaul plays a gay dog, and some of you might be saying, Blaze Maze, how can you assume the sexuality of the dog? To which I would say,
Can I get an amen up in here?
oh. I rest my case. Look, Ru's scene is not good, and it's as bad as all the other scenes. But when I saw this scene, something broke in my brain a little bit. I don't know what it was, but Ru said this one line, and I just could not stop laughing. But yeah, here's footage of me watching this movie, going crazy, and then this scene happens.
Will you excuse me?
What is going on?
Yes, Henny. Sashay away.
Yeah, very fashion away.
Yeah, look, I know, it's not actually funny, but it did give me renewed interest in actually finishing this review, okay? And I'll take that as a plus, because it's the only plus that Show Dogs is going to get. I don't know, it just made me want to continue watching these to see if there was going to be anything that would top the majesty that was RuDog. Spoilers for the rest of the review. There will be things that top RuDog, actually, so stay tuned. Do I recommend Show Dogs? No. Do I have a soft spot for this movie because it did give me renewed interest in completing this video? Unfortunately, yes.
Now, sashay away. Candy, wait. Stop. Yes, Henny. Sashay away.
If Show Dogs is the worst movie in this exercise, then EdTV is probably a close second. So EdTV actually comes to us from Ron Howard, who's like, look at what he's made. And excluding the GayVN Best Picture nominee Dangerous Liaisons, which clocked in at 4 hours, EdTV is the longest movie I had to watch for this exercise at 123 minutes. I'll say this about RuPaul's filmography, even when the movies are awful, at least they're usually short. This movie is basically just The Truman Show, but if it had, you know, more of a reality show bend than the hidden camera stuff that was going on in The Truman Show. So basically, if it was less interesting. Hey, look, everybody, it's the actress who plays Jan in the Brady Bunch movies.
Not this.
You know, this has all the sizzling appeal of watching a guy bumble around his apartment in San Francisco for 2 hours. Doesn't help that this character is played by Matthew McConaughey in one of his more egregiously annoying performances. But the worst thing about EdTV is it's like it's trying to be boring. It's like it's going out of its way to be boring. Like, how do you make a scene like this where Matthew McConaughey cuts his toes for 10 minutes and expect it to be entertaining?
You know, most people like to hurry through a toenail clipping session. You know, just clip and get, you know. Not me. I like to take my time.
You gotta pop them corn so the kids can eat.
This movie reminds me of a reality show called Small Town Security, and not because of any of the content in it, but because Small Town Security is probably the most nothing burger of a show I have ever seen in my life. I really don't know how it got greenlit, and I don't know how they tried to sell it, because it just nothing happens. It's like the most boring show I've ever seen. Here's a clip of the only interesting-ish thing I could find about the show.
I've got a species spicy meatball. Species spicy meatball.
Joan, you're giving me a headache, babe.
Yeah, it wasn't even interesting. What do you want me to say? And that's EdTV. Big old nothing burger. It's nothing. It's not worth talking about. It's not worth reviewing. I don't think anyone would have really talked about this movie unless they were doing some kind of retrospective video about RuPaul's movies. So, speaking of that, let's talk about RuPaul in this. You know how in, like, Marvel movies or whatever, like, they'll get, like, Wolf Blitzer or, like, whatever real-life news reporter to come on and give credibility to the fake news report in the movie, making it seem like it's a real news report? That's kind of what RuPaul is doing in this, because RuPaul's appearance is actually an appearance from the RuPaul show.
What is up with that bitch? Ed, honey, look. Ed, when you get tired of that skanky hoe, come see me, baby.
And we've already established EdTV sucks, so let's just talk about the RuPaul show for a minute. The RuPaul show aired on VH1 from 1996 to 1998 and is notably the first American talk show to feature an openly gay host. That's right, RuPaul. It's also the first talk show to feature a drag queen as one of the hosts. That's right, Michelle Visage is here too! You can find various clips for the show on YouTube. You know, it's pretty funny. Here's some highlights. Okay, so it's not funny at all, actually. Whatever. It's not on any streaming service that I can find, and it doesn't seem like the kind of show that I would find very funny anyway or want to watch for more than one episode, so I'm not counting this as a huge loss. If anything, the only huge loss is that I had to sit through EdTV in order to see some fake clips from an old TV show as part of a fucking YouTube video. Yeah, chalk that one up as an L for me.
Let me ask you a very fair question. What do you do successfully? Quickly.
Alright, you could do this. You just gotta talk about like a few more movies and then you're in the clear and you never have to make a movie review like this again. Okay, next we're talking about who is Cletus Tout. More like, what is this movie and why should I care? So, who is Cletus Tout? No, not the question. The movie. This movie stars my personal least favorite actor, Christian Slater. It also stars notable guy who never plays villains in movies, probably because he'd do a bad job at playing a villain in a movie as the movie's villain, Tim Allen. Can you guess how good his performance is?
I don't like your fist in my ass.
Whoa. I thought I already watched the gay porno. I'm not doing this again. Yes! Kill Christian Slater! Yes! Okay, damn it. We'll get him next time. Anyway, Who is Cletus Spuckler is probably the most okay movie ever made. I mean, it is a 5 out of 10 down the line, baby. There is nothing in this movie I remember. If I had to compare it to a movie, it would be the movie Burn After Reading. But the whole joke with Burn After Reading is essentially all these stupid idiots are embroiled in this, like, complicated CIA plot that they have no idea about and don't understand in any way. The joke is that no one knows what's going on, and this movie is not in on that joke, okay? Cletus Tout here doesn't have the same benefit as being written by the Coen brothers, okay? It's written by whoever this is, whose most notable previous achievement was a movie called Rockula, which was a movie about a rock and roll Dracula.
Rockula, the love story that rocks like a bat out of hell. Rockula.
So let me just run through some of my quick notes for this one instead, and we'll call it a day.
Where was your mom?
She died when I was 6.
Sorry.
So one, I believe Who is Cletus Cassidy is the only movie in RuPaul's filmography currently which has him on the poster. That's actually surprising because RuPaul is not a key character in this, but you know, nice fun fact. Number two, this movie actually got shelved and was re-released 2 years after its original release date, but I think that's because its original release date was going to be in September 2001. Yeah, so I think you know why they didn't release it then. They didn't want to compete with Mariah Carey's Glitter.
I'll never let it end.
To us.
Mariah Carey. Glitter.
Incidentally, this does make Who is Cletus Clump the second worst thing to happen in September of 2001, next to Mariah Carey's Glitter. And lastly, RuPaul's in this as like some junkie in a hallway who tries to hit on Christian Slater, and you know, it's not a terrible performance, it's not a terrible scene, but it does operate on the slightly flimsy premise that somebody would want to have sex with Christian Slater. So yeah, no, not gonna say I was a fan of this one. Yeah, that's about all I have. So let's just move on to the next one. And yes, Christian Slater's dead. Yes.
No, I didn't die. Okay.
Damn it.
Meh.
Let's wrap up this section with a nice little surprise. We're going to talk about an actual good movie for once that actually has RuPaul in a starring role. It's the movie Red Ribbon Blues. Red Ribbon Blues is essentially the story of Robin Hood, but if it was about PrEP. There's a new drug in town called D64, looked it up, not real, that is essentially there to treat AIDS, except it's extremely expensive. So these four vigilantes go and they break into pharmacies and they steal the drug and they distribute it all over this apparently AIDS-riddled town. They actually managed to pull off their plan without a hitch, save for their, of course, male pattern baldness ski masks. I don't know what that's about. Now, look, I'll fully admit maybe my taste has just eroded from watching so many awful movies for the past 2 months, but you know what? This is actually a really surprisingly good movie. It's creative, and the cast is pretty good. You know, you got this guy, and then the girl from NCIS, and Lip Synca, who was in another gay movie in drag, but is not in this movie in drag, and gives a great performance. Overall, RuPaul gives a good performance. I didn't really cringe while watching this, and yeah, overall, I highly recommend Red Ribbon Blues. I don't really have any good jokes for it because, yeah, I'm just surprised I found an actual good movie I never heard of from this exercise. Good job, movie. You did it. You were pretty good.
Tatiana. Shantae, you stay.
I was in pure shock. I thought I might have misheard.
You playing with me?
So, full disclosure, I started writing the script for this video back in 2022. That's right, this video took a whole 4 years to make. No, I'm just kidding. Life comes at you fast, and sometimes you have more important things to do than make a video about a celebrity's filmography that you're only tangentially interested in. But even though I didn't make a video for a while, I was always like, I'm gonna come back to this idea. I'm gonna go make this video one day. So I put it on the back burner, and I said one day I would make this video. The consequence of me being lazy and not making this video for so long is that I now have an additional 4 movies I need to talk about. And it's currently 11:30 at night while I'm recording this, so let's talk about these movies already. The interesting thing about all 4 of these movies is that they're all animated films. Come to think of it, aside from that TV special, The Bitch Who Saved Christmas, and the other TV special, Reno 911, The Hunt for QAnon, which I didn't talk about in this video, RuPaul hasn't appeared on screen in a movie in about 5 years, which granted is going to change next week when Stop That Train comes out, but besides that movie, yeah, it's been all voice acting performances. But you know what, I get it. RuPaul's been very busy with, you know, his show and his other show, and then there's the game show he hosted, and there was that other thing, and then in between all that, he's spending his time making the most unhinged TikToks I've ever seen in my life.
Nuke Radio. We make your eardrums bleed.
I just shoved a nuke up my pussy.
Being in only animated movies does not mean RuPaul has gotten lazy as he ages, and it definitely doesn't mean that he's cashing in film paychecks while staying at home and recording these lines on his couch. To insinuate such would be shameful. We're going to talk about these movies in release order for once, because it actually gives me an excuse to talk about a great movie this time. That's right, we're going to talk about the movie Nimona, the 2023 movie from Netflix that kicks ass. Or more accurately, I guess it's the 2023 movie from Blue Sky Studios that kicks ass. You might know Blue Sky better as the team behind the Ice Age movies. Maybe you know them for the Rio movies. They also made the movie Robots. They were a subsidiary of whatever of 20th Century Fox, and then that got bought up by Disney, and then Disney saw that and went, well, you're all fired. So that left Nimona on the cutting room floor unfinished, but then Annapurna Studios, who incidentally are a really cool and awesome film production company that I hope gives blank checks to YouTubers who make cool YouTube videos. Annapurna picked it up, and they ended up finishing it and had it released on Netflix, which, you know, considering the last Blue Sky movie was the not very impressive Spies in Disguise, I think that's the movie where Will Smith slaps a pigeon. I can't say I was like looking forward to Nimona, but I'm very happy to be proved wrong as stated previously, because Nimona is a fucking jam. Nimona is about a knight named Ballister who lives in a futuristic, but it's not really, it's more of a medieval setting kind of thing. He gets framed for killing the queen of the city and then goes on the run and meets fellow ne'er-do-well, the titular shapeshifting hero Nimona. They go on a big grand adventure to try and clear Ballister's name and then get Nimona back into the city proper because she was like shunned when she was a kid or something. I wanted to get the characters out of the way first because they're the best part of this movie. My favorite character in this is definitely Nimona, who is fantastic and tragic and fun and smarmy and sassy, and her whole character arc is basically a metaphor for coming to terms with your burgeoning sexuality by turning into a giant rhinoceros. It makes sense if you watch the movie, okay? And Riz Ahmed plays Ballister, and I'm not going to act like he's as entertaining as Nimona, but he's voiced by Riz Ahmed, and Riz Ahmed is the man, so, I mean, I'm not going to complain about Riz Ahmed being in this movie. I think every movie should have Riz Ahmed in it.
Here. Don't play with that girl, Cuckay. She is not one of them. Yeah, heck you talk about. Miss put that stuff on. Heck you talk about. Period. Pussycat could never.
Speaking of voice acting, I have bad news. This is not gonna be one of RuPaul's best appearances in film. I'm sorry. I actually didn't even know it was RuPaul the first time I watched this. So there's these news reporters. By the way, quick, guess which one of these two characters you think RuPaul the drag queen is? Quick, go.
Because tonight, tradition will be cast aside.
Yeah, I got it wrong too. And they just kind of say stuff that's happening in the movie because it's a Netflix movie, and they literally had a thing that said, we reiterate the plot to you because we think you're stupid. That's an actual thing Netflix does. That's essentially what RuPaul's character does. He reiterates stuff that's going on in the plot and news reports. The annoying thing is that there are two of them, and so all the lines that could have been said by RuPaul could also have been said by the other news reporters. So it's both inconsequential, and it's about half of what I expected RuPaul to be doing, which is a big shame. Yeah, it's not a great performance, but it isn't a great movie, so I'm gonna let it slide because it let me watch Nimona again, and Nimona is a really good movie. So yeah, overall, thumbs up on this one, I guess.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Not really. I think I did a really good job. If I do say so myself.
The next film we're discussing is the 2023 animated film Ozzy, The Voice of the Forest, which, fuck you, I don't have to watch this one. I'm currently recording this video in 2026. This movie was released at the Annecy Film Festival in 2023, was shown in the UK in 2024, and the US in 2025. And I still cannot find a copy of it. It's not streaming anywhere, I can't purchase it for streaming anywhere, and the only physical copy of this movie I can find is a Region 2 DVD, which will not work in my Region 1 DVD player. So, sorry, I'm not doing this one. I'm using my get out of reviewing a RuPaul movie free card on this one, okay? I've watched way too much shit for this video. I get one freebie. But judging by the fact that the trailer for this movie contains some of the worst audio editing I've ever heard.
You've probably never been outside these walls, am I right?
I've been living in an orphanage with humans.
Since this,
these bitches are turning it out, girl.
I don't think I'm missing a thing. So yeah, whatever. We're skipping this one.
Ozzy!
Sashay away.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's been amazing.
I don't give a fuck.
Next up is the 2023 theatrically released movie Trolls Band Together. And no. I'm not doing this one. I remember these things. I'm not watching a movie about these things. These things scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Okay, so good news. These aren't those trolls, or rather, they technically are those trolls, but they made the wise decision to not make them look like this, and instead make them look bland, which I will chalk up as a win in this case, because, like I said, they don't look like this. So Trolls Band Together is the third film in the Trolls series. The first film was just called Trolls, and I think the second film was Trolls: The End of Evangelion. The movie's called Trolls Band Together because it's about trolls who need to get a band back together. So enjoy that, because that's about as good as the writing is going to get in this movie. But it's about a band, so you know what that means. Yeah, it's going to be a jukebox musical with a bunch of shoehorned in celebrity cameos that only exist to make an overproduced, glossy soundtrack for this movie. Okay, that's not totally true. There is some original music in this movie. The main problem, though, is that it tends to sound like this.
Everybody treats me like I'm just a little baby, but I'm walking and I'm talking on the daily. I'm rolling dice, drinking coffee, getting wild. Daddy, I'm a man now, not a little child.
Yikes. And yes, the scene where the trolls dance to Peanut Butter by RuPaul was quite uncomfortable, to say the least.
Your sister on the counter selling. Oh yes, honey.
I am, of course, kidding, but it is kind of worth noting that, you know, out of all these movies that we've talked about, this might be the only one where RuPaul is, like, really low on the famous people list. Like, this movie's got a lot of pretty big stars in it. You know, it's got Justin Timberlake, Anna Kendrick, Kid Cudi's in there, Kenan Thompson's in there, Eric Andre, Camila Cabello, Troye Sivan, Anderson .Paak, the Iconopop girls, DJ Dylan Francis is in this. The remaining members of NSYNC besides Justin Timberlake are in this. There's Daveed Diggs. He's from Hamilton and the band Clipping, so he's got two things, so he's a little higher on the fame totem pole than Rue, I think. Andrew Reynolds, the Book of Mormon guy, Jess from New Girl, Raj from Big Bang Theory, Glozell from YouTube, Ron Funches, noted very good voice actors Walter Dorn and Kevin Michael Richardson, and also some guy named David Flynn. And then, of course, last on that list would be RuPaul. Let's actually get RuPaul's appearance in this film out of the way. I guess in the previous films, there were some evil race of potato people called the Bergens. I don't know. I didn't bother watching the other two movies. By the third movie, they're all buddies with the trolls. So the beginning of this movie is a wedding being done between two of the Bergens. And that's RuPaul. The one officiating the wedding, that's him right there. This is RuPaul's only appearance in this movie. Yet again, another glorified cameo. Whoopie-doo. The only thing notable about RuPaul's appearance in this movie is that the writing goes out of its way to specifically let the audience know that this character has had troll sex. And a lot of it, apparently.
Now, falling in love is easy. We've all done it. I've done it 100 times, thousands even, if you count that semester I spent abroad.
This movie is a great example, by the way, of why Anna Kendrick is a professional actress and why Justin Timberlake is only good in movies that are directed by David Fincher.
You can come with us. I know you think it's risky, and maybe it is, but it'll be worth it. Family's always worth it.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? I'm coming with you.
Why bother? Aren't you gonna leave me eventually anyway? Everyone else does.
Kid Cudi is so bad in this. I mean, it's actually hilarious.
Now these guys know how to flex the drip.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just, where'd I put it? Where'd I put this? Oh yeah, perfect. Unless we forget the music. It sucks. Here's an example.
My girl's like candy, a candy treat. She knocks me right up off my feet.
Here's another one.
This is for all the lonely people.
Girl, find the note. Find the note.
Oh, that's not bad enough for you? Okay, here's a shitty cover of a Weezer song. Everyone hates Weezer covers.
On an island in the sun, we'll be playing having fun.
See, Weezer sucks. But then, of course, after I gave up on this movie, it pulls a certified banger out of its ass 75 minutes in the finale song.
This song got copyright claims. I can't play this shit on YouTube.
Which, you know, to be completely honest, is a pretty blatant carbon copy of the song from the first Trolls that blew up and got really big. Odds are they probably made this song because that song did really well, so I don't know, try it again, I guess. But, you know, it's a bop, and it's really fun, and I like it. I'm not the only one who thought this song was good, though, because this song was nominated for a Grammy, so it has to be good, right? Nothing bad ever gets nominated for Grammys. It does not save this movie, however, and overall, Trolls 3 is one of the more trite and forgettable and formulaic things I've seen for this, and overall, I would not recommend it. But, what's this? A reunion with the NSYNC boy members at the end? A glorified excuse to have the song play again? Run it back, boys!
It's also got copyright claims. I can't even play the end song for you. And oh my god, my dancing's bad. I love no choreo.
I lost all hope today.
And the final film in RuPaul's filmography as of making this video is the 2024 film Hitpig. And listen, everybody, you got no idea, okay? I have been waiting for this movie to come out for years. I already mentioned that I started writing the script for this movie in like 2022. Well, this movie has been appearing on RuPaul's Wikipedia article since at least 2022. So when I was doing research and when I was getting stuff ready, I would go periodically check his Wikipedia article and I would see this movie. And there would never be a link to a Wikipedia page or any update. It would just say 2022 is coming out. Oh, we're wrong. It's coming out 2023 now. Oh, we're actually wrong again. It's coming out 2024. And I kept just thinking this movie was never going to come out and it was a scam. I kept it in the back of my mind. I put it on my Letterboxd watch list. Follow me at Blaze_Amaze. And I waited and I bided my time for this movie to eventually come out. And you know what? It did. It did eventually come out. Eventually the Wikipedia article showed up and it announced a release date of So I waited for the date, I found a local movie theater that was showing this, and I paid actual hard-earned money to watch Hitpig in theaters to complete this video. Was all this anticipation worth it? Was this movie as good as I was hoping it would be?
No!
Yeah, no, sorry guys. More like shitpig, am I right? There is a small chance you know the man behind the Hitpig, though, because Hitpig comes from the newspaper comic artist Berkeley Breathed, who you might know from the comic strip Bloom County, but, you know, I don't know much about newspaper comics. It kind of begins with Calvin and Hobbes, and I guess ends with Doonesbury because my dad used to read it. But then I realized he was the guy behind Opus the Penguin, and I went, oh, I've seen Opus the Penguin. I mean, I don't know anything about him, but I've seen him before. That counts, right? Okay, does Opus the Penguin appear in Hitpig then? Okay, so what is this? The story of Hitpig apparently comes from a book that Breathed wrote called Heat and Pickles. I didn't read the book, but apparently the only similarities are the main character is a pig and the other main character is an elephant named Pickles. Yeah, that's right. The main character of this movie is not even named Pete like the book. His name is Hitpig because the movie is named Hitpig. Hitpig is voiced by Jason Sudeikis, who you might know from Ted Lasso, but I know better as the guy who served his divorce papers to his wife on stage when she was presenting her film she directed, which is kind of a boss move if you ask me. The elephant is voiced by failed talk show host Lily Singh, who you might know better as Cancer Incarnate. At first I was confused how Lily Singh got involved in this, but then I looked at her filmography and realized she's actually a pretty accomplished voice actress. She was in the Ice Age movies, she's in the Bad Guys movies, and who can forget her crowning achievement playing a stupid deer in some shit called Riverdance, the animated adventure.
Get ready to be razzle-dazzled.
Would you believe me if I told you that Riverdance has a higher rating on IMDb than fucking Hitpig? Hitpig is about what it says. He's a pig and a hitman. He has to save this elephant and then return the elephant to the villain because the villain was an acrobat. But then it turns out that... Yeah, I'm sorry. As much as I was anticipating this film, and for as potentially as interesting as this concept could be, it turns out this movie wasn't interesting at all. The main problem with Hitpig is the animation's pretty crappy. I mean, the fact this was a theatrically released animated movie is pretty surprising, considering it looks kind of worse than those Castle Crasher ads that they put on TV and on your phone, which, you know, that's not knocking the Castle Crashers ads. That's insulting this movie. It kind of makes a weirdly good contrast to Trolls Band of Brothers, or whatever that movie we were just talking about was. Both these movies are bland narratively, but at least Trolls looks nice. I mean, it looks obnoxious and chaotic and cluttered, but hey, at least it's colorful and has some personality, and it's something, okay? It's better than whatever Hitpig is doing over here. And frankly, that's odd, because Trolls 3 is a movie that probably only exists because the song from the first Trolls has 2 billion views on YouTube. Well, Hitpig, I don't know if I can call it a passion project or whatever, but it's at least been in development for actual years, according to RuPaul's Wikipedia page, so why does it look like shit? Also, one quick thing to note about Hitpig, I've been putting music in the background of this review that's either from the movie or relevant to the movie in question, unless, you know, copyright had me take it down, in which case it's something else, but whatever. The point is, I did look up Hitpig's soundtrack for this review, and I was shocked to find that it was 37 minutes, yet 31 songs long. To give you a perspective of why that's weird, the movie Oppenheimer, which clocks in at 3 hours, uses music constantly throughout, to the point where the soundtrack is 1 hour and 35 minutes long, about the length of an average film. That soundtrack still has 7 less songs than the Hitpig soundtrack. I don't even know how did that happen? How? Hitpig. If anything, the only thing you can commend this movie for is that it's an action movie about a pig who shoots guns, and it's somehow still boring, which, wow, that's impressive. I couldn't make a movie like this boring if I tried. However, there is one saving grace with Hitpig, and it is RuPaul himself. Let me set the stage for you. So, in the beginning of this movie, RuPaul is playing a disgusting looking rat thing named Polecat. Hitpig is chasing him down, and Hitpig shoots a purple laser into his butt. Don't worry, this will come back later. Anyway, the movie continues and blah, 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 blah. You don't care, I don't care, no one cares. The problem was I was watching this and I was getting really worried because I paid all this money to see Hitpig and I was not enjoying it. But I was also getting really afraid that we were going to get another movie where RuPaul is only in it again for 10 minutes in the beginning and never again. But Hitpig won battle let me down, baby! This movie ends with a climax where all the heroes have to join together, and incidentally, this movie is so goddamn cheap that when they do this scene where all the characters have to come together, they literally have so few characters that they had to resort to using RuPaul's character, Polecat, who was only in this movie for 10 minutes in the beginning, and an actual no-joke background character who was only on the television in the background to be a respectable team of 5. That's not even a big team. Anyway, they join their team, and then they get in a spaceship, and they chase after the bad guy. I don't know why this happened. I lost track of the plot at this point. As they're chasing him, their ship runs out of fuel. Oh no, what are they gonna do? Well, here comes RuPaul as Polecat. You remember how I said his ass turned purple in the beginning of the movie? Well, it's coming back. Polecat takes a hose that's connected to the ship's fuselage, shoves it in his asshole, farts, and then powers the spaceship with nothing but the power of radioactive purple RuPaul farts. Listen, when I saw this in theaters, my movie theater looked like this. Although it was just me, so it more accurately looked like this. This is the kind of stuff movies are made for, okay? Fuck Schindler's List, fuck The Godfather, and Citizen Kane can eat a fat dick. Do they have RuPaul playing a rodent farting in a spaceship to make it go faster? I didn't fucking think so. And that's why Hitpig is the greatest film of all time, baby, yeah!
Congratulations, you are the winner of season 11.
For real?
What? For real? Hell no.
Well, thank you for coming on this journey with me. We have now gotten to the end, and as promised, I am going to rank all the films that I've watched so I can finally go to bed. First up, I think obviously we're going to put To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. It's just a classic. At 2, I'm going to put Crooklyn, which is kind of unfair because it's not as good of a movie as our third place entry, Nimona, but this is a RuPaul ranking, so I have to consider the fact that Nimona completely wasted RuPaul, while Crooklyn only kinda wasted him. At 4th place, I have Come Around. I'm going to put But I'm a Cheerleader. And then at 5th and 6th place, we are going to put the Brady Bunch movies. The Brady Bunch movie and then a Very Brady sequel. Because, yeah, I'm not putting the second one above the first one. We talked about it. 7, I'm going to put Red Ribbon Blues. I know I gushed about it a lot in my assessment, but yeah, you know, it's mostly because I was just surprised it was good. And then 8, we're putting the surprise of this list. Most of these movies ended up being pretty bad, so yeah, someone great actually makes the top 10 of this list. Number 9, I'm going to go with Zombie Prom because it was pretty fun. And then at number 10, Yeah, another shocker. We're putting Who is Cletus Tout, I guess. At 11, we're going to put The Truth About Jane, which, to be frank, I had more fun with The Truth About Jane than some other movies that are above it, but it was mostly at its expense, so yeah. At 12, I'm going with Blue in the Face, and then right after that, I'm going with Trolls Band Together. At 14, we're going to put Hitpig, and let me make it perfectly clear, this movie would be much lower on the list if it weren't for the fact that RuPaul farts in a spaceship in it. I'm going to put Hurricane Bianca at 15th, and then our next spot, it's everyone's favorite RuPaul movie about two men chained together. That's right, it's Dangerous Liaisons, followed then, I guess, by Fled. At 18th on the list, I'm putting in Unexpected Life, which, aside from the admittedly good performances, was about your average standard bad TV movie. All right, we are in the bottom 5 of the list. These are the 5 worst movies RuPaul has been in. The 5th worst is going to be Zombies 3, which, you know, to be fair, it does have higher production value than some of the stuff above it. It's probably not fair to put it this low. I don't care. It sucked. At 4th worst, I gotta be honest, this movie was pretty fun to watch, and overall it was very fun to make fun of, but I cannot in good faith say that I am ever going to want to watch another gay sequel, Gays Gone Wild, again in my life. 3rd worst, I'm going with A Mother's Prayer, and on top of having bad acting and looking cruddy and having an annoying as shit little kid in it, this movie also really mishandled its subject matter, and I know it was a serious one and I didn't talk about it too much in this review, but yeah, it was pretty bad. At 2nd worst, I'm going to put EdTV. Even though it's the best director that RuPaul has ever worked with, Ron Howard's EdTV is almost a movie that's trying to be boring on purpose, and that's not a good thing. And then rounding out the bottom, worst movie RuPaul's ever been in, easily, without question, is Show Dogs. I mean, what else can I say about this movie except...
Yes, Henny. Sashay away.
Well, that's it. We're at the end of this journey together, and I just wanted to say thank you genuinely for watching. I'm very proud of the work I put into this review, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and share this video with anyone you know who likes Drag Race or movies or cool YouTube videos. I'd really appreciate it. I think that covers everything except, well, there is one more movie, but we don't have to talk about that one. That one's just... Oh, God.